Got anything else to say, Chris?
Yeah, I do. We're on Dogecoin to the moon and back.
Dogecoin. Yeah.
Welcome to another episode of Hoosier Nerds Podcast with your host, two Chris's, and Mikey and Tim is at work. So he's not on here again, so it's just us three.
We need to find a
He
new
may
date.
join.
Just so he can join.
Which is Chris, Mikey, and Chris. He might join in later, he said.
It's a Mikey.
I doubt it.
Between two Chris's.
It's Mikey, Chris, and Mike, and Mikey, Chris, and Mikey, Chris, Mikey, and Chris. Change your mind. So this week we have just a bunch of random stuff we're talking about. We're talking about movies, some spots, and some other stuff. You guys bring these up and talk more about them than I do because I've never played either game. So, but I did start playing the Da Vinci Code. I did start playing the Xbox version of the Da Vinci Code on my Xbox 360 today, so I'm pretty excited about that.
Jeez. Talk about a few generations behind.
Yeah, you ain't kidding.
I remember renting that game back in the day when when video was a thing.
Yeah.
The Da Vinci Code?
Yeah. It was a fun game. I enjoyed it. I never beat it.
It's a fun game. I played it on my Xbox, but my Xbox broke, so I'm glad I can play it on the 360.
2006. Man, what a time to be alive.
2006.
Do you guys remember the days? It'd be Friday night, Saturday. You and your parents and your family go to Family Video or Blockbuster. Pick out 2 or 3 movies to watch throughout the. Have a movie night on Saturday night or Friday night. Those were the times. Yeah. Now that show anymore. Netflix up.
Yeah. I always lived close enough where you could just ride a bike. And my parents would be like,
really?
Get something for us. Yeah.
When we bought our first, this will date me. When we bought our first VCR, they gave us free rentals. We bought it at H.H. Gregg, right, which was out on Markland. But when we went out to H.H. Gregg, that was the only thing on that road. Like, once you got past, it was past Kmart, which is Hobby Lobby now. Once you got past it, there was just nothing but trees. Trees and woods till you got to H.H. Gregg. But, yeah, we would rent movies there, but you had to have them back in 24 hours. So we would rent, like, a mom and dad movie that we may or not be able to watch, and then we watch, like, a family movie. But Blockbuster, we'd rent 2 or 3.
What?
Well, they did.
Yeah, I mean, the hard part
a lot of old movies we had already seen.
Yeah. The hard part was just remembering to return the the DVDs or whatnot.
Or you had to rewind the tape before you returned it. Or
yeah. Those are the boomer times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's because all them jackwagons wouldn't rewind the movie.
Uh-huh.
If you were super cool, though, you had a videotape rewinder.
I still have one of those.
And you can just
sitting at my parents' house.
Really?
Yeah, they never got rid of it.
Those were cool. Except if your tape was old, they could break the tape.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my grandma had the VCR player, and then just separate. The VCR player didn't rewind the VCR. You had to take out the VCR and put it in like a separate rewinder just to rewind it.
Really? It did.
Yeah.
The VCR did not rewind the tape.
No. If it did, I don't remember that, but I do remember her having like just a little I guess you could say box, just big enough for the VCR and a couple buttons.
Okay, so the library you could use. Can you still get movies from the library?
Yeah.
You could rent videotapes from the library. So it's a true story. So we would rent these movies, and it was about like the history of Indiana or whatever, right? But some of them would be like have racing stuff on them. So we would rent those, and we would rent those repeatedly. Well, a videotape has a tab on it, and if you break the tab, then you can't record on it, right? That's how you prevented recording over stuff. Well, apparently one of their tapes on the state of Indiana did not have the tab broke, and I didn't change the tape out, and I recorded an episode of Late Night with David Letterman on the library tape. So I broke the tab before we returned it, and I returned it and never told anybody.
You little.
That's my skeleton in my closet.
All right,
From
you're
the
going to
Kokomo
hell for
Public
that
Library. We was like, "Where's the Letterman episode?" I was like, "Oh no!" Did you? I thought you turned. I thought you changed the tape out. I didn't change the tape out. You changed it. No, I didn't change. Oh. So the Kokomo Public Library had a tape of Late Night with David Letterman somewhere. So there you go. And the big video, the video rental place around Kokomo was the Video Connection. They had 3 locations. They had one next to Kmart out west. They had one downtown, and they had one at the Marsh Plaza out south. So they had 3 locations. So that was, and you had to pay. They wanted $30 for a membership.
Yeah.
And then every once in a while, they would run specials for like free memberships. That's how we became a member, because Dad wasn't going to pay that kind of money to be a member.
Oh wow. I remember when Family Video came to town, it like ran everyone out of business. Like you had Video Connect, you had Blockbuster, but they couldn't keep up with Family Video.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. Blockbuster and Video Connect didn't have like that many. Like they'd get the new movie in, but they'd have 4 or 5, maybe 6 copies. Family Video would get like the new Star Wars in, and they'd have like 20, 30 copies of it.
Oh, okay.
Because they'd have like
okay. So back in the day,
movies too.
but back in the day, there was only one copy of a movie. Like there was just one copy of the movie, but you had to return it in 24 hours. So if you were able to find a movie, a new movie, Blockbuster movie, you were like the coolest kid on the street.
For 60,000 people, you had to find the one movie. I remember people.
Which we did luck out. Go ahead.
I remember like sometimes there'd be arguments at Family Video back when they were popping, like Friday night. Everybody rushed to get the new when the new movies came out, and it'd be like, all right, we gotta get there before the rush so we can get the new movie, whatever the new movie was then.
Right.
Really, if there's one thing that's like the downfall of America, it's the loss of movie rental places.
Oh yeah, because we would go when I lived in Florida and was married. We would go to Blockbuster on a Friday night, and you get popcorn and candy, and everybody pick out a movie, and that was fun.
You'd have movie night. Friday, Saturday be movie night with the family.
Yeah.
Now it's like, all right, let's load up Netflix for the 1,000th time this week.
It's not just the movies. I miss just like renting games.
Yeah.
Because like you don't want to pay $60 for like a game that you'll play like just for the story, and then you won't ever play it again.
Or like, hey, I want to rent this game just to see if I'm gonna like it.
Yeah.
That's
right.
not Call of Duty.
And now we just watch Twitch or something and see if we might like it, but
yeah, but
it's your generation that ruined it. I'm just telling you right now. we always went to the sure damn millennials ruined it. The movie rental experience.
Hey, we saw Redbox.
You can't even get kids to come out of the room and watch movies now. They'll just watch YouTube or Twitch or anything all night long. They'll watch other people play video games.
Hey, that's for me, a busy adult. That's the most enjoyment I get out of video games much anymore, is watching I bought the brand new Cyberpunk game. I almost spent like $120 on that game. I think it's a special edition.
Oh, no.
And I've put probably 20, 30 hours into it. I haven't touched it since December.
Wow.
But I don't want to say I'll blame Kimberly for that, but start getting like into serious dating kind of I had to get rid of something to make time, and video games was one of them.
I would also say that it's the game itself. It wasn't very smooth.
Lived up to the hype.
So yeah, it wasn't like it just. I would say if I would have bought it and I would have played it, I'm like I don't even want to attempt to play it because attempting it would
Well,
just it'd take forever and I wouldn't have as much fun
I was gonna put
because all the glitches.
fun, but it was already over the 3 hours, or because it was Steam. You can only play 3 hours before you can get or lose your refundability.
Yeah,
It's like, well, 3 hours really isn't enough time to get past the new polish of like a new game.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, do you remember when Netflix started? It was a DVD rental place.
Yeah.
They would mail you DVDs.
Uh-huh.
Do you guys remember when they tried to split the business in half?
Didn't they want to go with Blockbuster or Blockbuster said
Blockbuster
no
had
or something?
to buy them. Blockbuster said no. Netflix was going to split the business down the middle, do the DVD service and the streaming service, but that wouldn't work. So they just stayed with Netflix. But do they even?
I
do
loved
DVDs?
Blockbuster.
Does Netflix even send you DVDs in the mail anymore?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Blockbuster was so huge, they sponsored a bowl game. It was the Blockbuster Bowl.
I remember that, I think. There's still one Blockbuster around. It's in Alaska.
Isn't it Alaska? Yeah.
Yeah. And all the family videos are closed now.
There was one family video here in Richmond, where Kimberly lives, and it was going out of business, and I really wanted to go in there. And I drove by it. We drove by it the other day, and it was empty. It's been gutted.
There's a friend of mine that she's worked at the ones around this area, like Marion, Frankfurt, and they're clearing out Marion, and they're just selling movies. And she did a walkthrough. She showed me a walkthrough of how empty it was. And you know what movies are sold out at Family Video?
Disney?
The pornos. All the adult movies are sold. They're gone. She said she was embarrassed by that.
Yeah,
but,
I'd rather just load it up on the internet. It's a lot faster, and I can always change it.
Anybody there?
Yeah.
All right. I think we talked enough about.
We're back.
It says it's saying starting recording. I think it starts right away. There we go. Now
there it is. Now we're recording.
Well,
super.
Now that technical difficulties are out of the way.
Jeez, that was weird.
Sorry for the weird cut, everybody. There's gonna be a weird cut, but I'm gonna.
What were we talking about?
We were talking about like family video and stuff for some reason.
Oh yeah, so yeah, once they sell out of all those videotapes, then they're done, I guess. But or videotapes. I'm sorry, DVDs. I'm sure if you got in there early, you probably get some games. You could get games pretty cheap in movies.
Yeah, but
I feel like I'm less likely to like rent a movie like on a streaming service or something than I am if I go to the store.
Yeah, I've rented a couple times off of like Amazon, but I couldn't get it anywhere else. I was like, "Fuck it, I'll spend like $4."
Yeah, it seems expensive.
It is. Oh, you want to rent the brand new Disney movie? $20.
Yeah,
Mulan was $20.
I thought it was $30.
Was it 30? I can't remember.
I don't know. I wasn't gonna rent it.
Neither was I. I was gonna.
It's free now, and I still ain't seen it.
I heard it sucked. So.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I won't. I haven't rented a movie. I can't tell you the last time I rented a movie. We used to have when we had T-Mobile. They had free rentals through Fandango, so we would get the free rentals. That was about it.
My dad likes going to Redbox for some reason.
Oh, that's right. I've Redboxed. I don't remember the last time I've Redboxed, but I've Redboxed.
He does it about at least once a month. But
really?
Also, like he said, he doesn't have all the streaming services, and it's easier for him just to find something on Redbox and go get it.
True that. Well, that's what I liked about it.
But now that I have, all these streaming services, pretty much I'm going to find whatever I want to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is true.
Shall we get to some of the news?
Sure.
Let's go.
I know we're a little late to the party, but Gina Carano said some things on Twitter and got herself fired from The Mandalorian. They're not going to recast her, so they're just not going to bring her back into the show, apparently. Which
there's no more.
Her character, I can't even remember. I don't remember her character.
Cara Dune.
Cara Dune, yeah.
Yeah,
So
there's no more
Cara Dune.
I don't know. It's however you want. It's like Mario and Mario, however you want to say it.
The thing was what she said. I don't think she would have gotten in trouble until she added something at the very end.
Well, no, but the issue is that other people, including her co-stars, have tweeted out some very unpleasant things
Towards her and conservatives.
And they're do what?
I was just saying that it's
because
one way, but yet she goes the other way and she gets in trouble.
Right, exactly. Other people are still on the show, and yet that's the issue there.
At the same time, she needs to realize who she's working for. She's working for Disney.
You know what, though? It shouldn't matter.
It shouldn't. Because you have freedom of speech, but yet there's no such thing, really.
Does anybody know what? I don't know if we want to share it, but does anybody know what exactly she said or wrote?
Do we want to say, Chris?
Yeah, she compared the current governmental situation with the Nazis, which that's been said a lot.
You could say that it was impunity about Trump and Republicans.
The last 4 years. Yeah, it's been said a lot the last 4 years.
So around the other way.
And it's been said about PewDiePie, too.
Yeah. Hey, at least there wasn't a bridge incident.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, now we're getting to a point where it's the whole cancel culture, and either way. I mean, if you don't like somebody, I get it. You know, say what you want. It doesn't bother me none. But I don't think you should lose your job over something that's being said repeatedly by everybody else when it pertains to other people. You know, vote for whoever you want, belong to whatever political party you want. I don't care. It doesn't. The all crooks, in my opinion, so I'm not really worried about it. But to lose your job over it, I think is pretty sad.
Yeah. She's already got another job, so.
Yeah, she is making a movie for the Daily Wire. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's a conservative company. I know they're like they got like Shapiro and some other people.
Yeah, Ben Shapiro, right?
It's like ran by Ben Shapiro. I think it's actually his company.
Yes.
But it's like they make like conservative and like right wing. I don't want to say right wing because when you say right wing, people think way right wing, like just middle America right wing movies. Like I think one of their big things was like God's Not Dead or something. That was one of their big movies that brought them out.
Okay, that was okay. I didn't know that was their movie.
I think it was. Don't quote me on that. I haven't looked that up. But I know they're kind of big on making more Republican movies and
conservative.
Yeah. Trying something
religious.
But I guess overall, Disney has to appeal to the public and their money and whatnot, so they can't just let it slide.
Apparently, the outcry against that happening has been massive, and like they actually had to come out and like address it because there was like I signed the petition. The petition has like millions of, maybe not millions, but tons of signatures to bring her back.
Really?
Because that last episode of Mandalorian, her character was awesome.
Yes, but I think it's too late now. So
it is too late. Disney made their choice, and they're not gonna. They don't care. No one's gonna.
The tribe has spoken.
No one's gonna cancel their Disney Plus subscription over that. I'm not.
Pureflix made God's Not Dead. Not.
My bad.
Which they have. Don't they have a streaming service themselves? Pureflix is a streaming service.
I have no idea. Never heard of them. But you think if like Pedro did it, then they would fire him too? Like
Well,
I mean,
Pedro has done it from what I understand. So
But he said it the other way
he said
around.
it's the other way around. So.
Oh, okay.
Calling Trump a Nazi and comparing him to Hitler. All right, that's enough politics. I'm sorry.
It's just a big mess.
Yeah,
it's above my pay grade. I'm sad that she's off the show.
We're a bunch of nerds, and all we want to talk about is movies. And unfortunately, that's some big news that we have to talk about.
And we never got to see her dump him out. Not on the Mandalorian, of course, but
Maybe one day.
she almost did it. Almost did it on Deadpool.
She did.
That's true.
Oh, sad.
Very sad.
Did you guys watch the latest episode of WandaVision? Let's say it's Disney for right now, I guess.
Do we do well?
The latest episode of WandaVision.
I did watch the latest episode of WandaVision.
I am waiting for them all to
drop.
Be released to watch them.
So you don't care if we talk about it?
I don't.
I think this last episode sucked. It was slow. Nothing happened. I mean, I guess it revealed who the villain was, but that's all it did. It went into the whole episode was like a big circle. It felt like nothing happened. But it was also based off The Office, so that makes sense because The Office, nothing happens to that show. It's a piece of crap show.
Hey, you shut up! It's not a piece of crap show.
What's funnier, The Office or the 2 minutes in The Office is actually a meme of every episode?
I think the shows are hilarious.
Uh-huh.
Oh my.
Yep.
I heard the Disney servers crashed though, because everyone's trying to watch the WandaVision or whatnot.
On Friday?
Yeah, apparently. That's what I heard. I wouldn't literally look into it. Something my coworker said something about that. Because everyone tried to watch it at the same time, or something, and it crashed the servers.
Huh. I did not know that.
Let me confirm.
It's only got 2 more episodes to go, though, don't it?
Yeah.
And they're hour-long episodes, right?
Well, 30 minutes of actual show, 30 minutes of intros and credits.
Yeah.
Right? The credits are yeah, that's right. They're 5 or 6 minutes long, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. I never knew so many people could work on one television show.
Well, they don't, but it's the television. It works on the television show of every country in the world.
Yeah,
it's what it is.
Okay, so it says it was mostly on the West Coast. They were out for maybe roughly 10 minutes. It says right around 3 a.m. when it was dropped for the West Coast.
Who's up at 3 a.m. watching Disney Plus?
Hardcore fans, I guess.
I guess.
It's not as bad as Super Bowl Sunday when CBS streaming crashed, and I couldn't watch the first half of the first quarter.
See, that's where that streaming crap gets in trouble. I mean, you can't be crashing during the Super Bowl.
No, and I was kind of mad, and I almost canceled my CBS subscription because of that. But then I was like, I can't do that because I got to watch Star Trek.
You just gotta wait for Starlink. It might help.
But you should have just came home and came over. We didn't have any problems here.
Well,
you missed it.
That's okay.
You missed garlic cheesy bread from Meyer.
Yeah,
and that was good stuff.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. And the only problem, I had some heartburn that next day though. I had some heartburn. It was the worst.
I had a hip cramp, so.
Dude, putting in work.
Took you a second, Chris.
Yeah, but the only problem I had with the Super Bowl was the over didn't hit. So.
Did what?
The over didn't hit.
No.
I lost money.
None of my bets hit. I lost $30.
Did you know that freaking Mahomes ran for 497 yards trying to get away from the defense that game.
I
They
don't.
total yards ran around, and it was like 497 yards.
If his receivers could have actually caught a ball, that game would have been different.
He
was like putting them in like right in the where they needed to be, but they wouldn't catch them.
Yeah, but that was a lot of the calls were going Tampa's way.
Yeah, because it's in Tampa. NFL loves Tampa Bay. Or
Tommy.
Tampa Tom.
Yeah, he ran a total of 497 yards before his passes / sacks. That's incredible. You shouldn't be running 500 yards for your life in a football game.
Yeah. But I guess that was like 2 weeks ago. We don't really.
No, but we didn't talk last week because
Oh yeah, we didn't, did we? I forgot.
Because I was stuck in
South Carolina.
South Kakalaka till the
South Carolina, put your hands up. Take your shirt off. Wave it around just like a helicopter.
I was driving Kokomo. Couldn't really do one.
And so we didn't have one last year, but we have one, or last week. I can't even talk anymore.
I don't know. I watched about 3/4 of that game and gave up. Like I got to halfway through like the third quarter, and I was like, "All right, I'm done."
It wasn't a very good game.
No, I don't. Of all the Super Bowls I've watched, the two worst ones were the Ram Patriots and this one. And
that was really bad. Yeah,
they were both bad, but I don't know which one I disliked more. And both of them, Tom Brady won, so I think I dislike both equally.
I went, go back to my era when every Super Bowl was a blowout. We didn't get a good game until the Giants and the Patriots. Probably one of the best Super Bowls.
The Colts one was pretty good before that.
Well, that's because the Colts won.
Oh yeah, I guess I guess we could circle to that since the Colts. The Colts traded for Carson Wentz. I think it's a good move.
It was a good move, and it's obviously he wasn't worth as much as everybody thought he was worth because they got it pretty.
They still have to pay his massive contract, though. At least probably 70% of it.
Well, if they can keep him healthy, it'll be worth it.
Yeah.
The Colts still have like $50 million cap space.
Oh. They still needed a lot of, I guess, help around him, though.
We need better receivers. Pittman is okay. Hilton's shown, but they haven't even re-signed Hilton yet.
No, they'll probably wait till after March or so. I think they can wait. And then who's the rookie who was a rookie last year that keeps on getting injured?
Paris Campbell.
Paris Campbell.
Yeah, he's got injured last two seasons.
Yeah,
the first few games. So you don't know how he's gonna be, but but they still need some help.
That's a good move, though. They needed they don't need a rookie that they have to build a team around. They need a veteran.
Yeah, because we have a defense and a line that's ready to win now.
Right. And if he could stay healthy and do what he did with the Eagles, then let's just hope. So there's our card, and so that's the only news I got out of the NFL is Carson Wentz That's a good pickup. I like that pickup, though. Isn't the draft pretty soon, or is it not until April?
April, unless they push it back because of COVID.
Hopefully they don't do that.
Because they canceled the combine this year.
ESPN did like a write-up. I think it was ESPN, like a write-up on the combine. And they don't learn anything about anybody at the combine. It's all just money spent and hanging out in Indianapolis and eating at St. Elmo's, and it's just a big party meeting / thing. Combine don't tell them anything about players. So there's your. I read that it was like a big long article. It was like a 3 day art, like a three. That like went off for like 2 or 3 days about how the combine's a big waste of money.
I think the big thing that they get out of it is they can do medical checks on them. They get to interview them, and I think that's the two big things. God, we're just having issues today because Mikey disconnected. I've disconnected.
Yeah. Am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
Okay.
Excuse me. Oh, so I know this is like going back to movies, but I don't want to lose it. There's been a bunch of casting for some video game movies, and in the past, video game movies are kind of laughing stocks, for lack of a better word, because they always sucked for the most part. But because of Sonic was like the first good video game movie I can think of. Hitman's weren't bad. Resident Evil had really nothing to do with the video games.
No, but it was still a good. That first one was really good. I enjoyed it a lot.
The first 3 Resident Evils were good, and then like the last ones, they had their moments. They all had their moments.
Sure.
But I'm gonna start with The Last of Us. The Last of Us, which honestly is one of my favorite games of all time on PlayStation 3, and then Last of Us 2 just came out not too long ago. Announced 2 castings, like the 2 major castings, which were needed. Pedro Pascal is going to play Joel, who's the main male protagonist, and then Ellie is going to be Bella Ramsey, who's from Game of Thrones. She played a little Mormont girl, who you know.
Lyanna Mormont?
Yeah, what did she say in Game of Thrones? I forget.
This is the way. No, I don't know.
But she's going to play Ellie.
I know what you're saying, though. I know. I don't know what she's saying.
And I think those are both good castings. It's an HBO show, and HBO is going with 2 actors that they know. And then, do you 2 know anything about Last of Us, or no?
It's a popular video game.
Okay, well,
I heard it's sad.
It is very sad, and I cried in the first.
Why is it sad?
Very fun, because you get really connected to the characters. Basically, Ellie is immune to the zombie. Instead of a virus, it's a fungus. It's based off that fungus that grows on ants and turns the ants into zombies. Cordyceps or something. And the game takes place like 15 years after like the world fell apart. And you're trying to get her to a doctor to make a vaccine. And basically shenanigans ensues, and you try to you kill people. You find out, of course, people are more scary than the zombies.
I mean, that's how it was in Walking Dead too.
Yeah,
it went from fighting zombies to fighting people.
Mm-hmm. But the story and the atmosphere always was amazing in that game.
I think that's why it should be a good film too, or a good movie.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you're not like doing any. It's not like, I guess can't really label as fantasy, unlike like Assassin's Creed game or Sonic or something like that. I mean, it's humans being humans and zombies, and they made tons of zombies movies already, and so it should be easy to like put on a script or whatnot.
Yeah.
Boy, Lyanna Mormont has some great lines.
I'd watch it though. I mean, I never played the game, but
I never played it either.
Would Ready Player One, would that be a video game movie, or is that a book?
No, that's a book.
Okay, that's what I thought.
But that's a great.
I remember.
That's a great movie. I just watched it not too long ago.
I can't wait for the new one, Ready Player 2.
Who wants to be Player 2?
I do.
Right?
It's always Player 1. You always fight for Player 1.
I might be small, Lord Glover, and I might be a girl, but I'm every bit as much a northerner as you. Yes, see. I won't be knitting by the fire while I have my men fighting for me. See, she was just a badass.
I hate how she died.
Who?
But
Lyanna Mormont?
she did take down the zombie giant.
I don't need your permission to defend the North.
Yeah, it was pretty epic. I remember watching like reaction videos to that, and everybody cheering.
Well,
Your Grace, but you're not. Are you?
how dark
You
the
left
episode
Winterfell a king and came back gay. I'm
People
not
always
sure what
say that.
now. A lord, nothing at all. Not important. We named you King of the North. She was cool. I liked that character. So she's going to be the little girl. So it's a guy and a girl in The Last of Us. Yeah, I saw something about that. I'm not big on zombie movies except Shaun of the Dead. That was great. The first Zombie Land was good.
I don't know if I could. I mean, it had zombies in it, but I don't want to really label it as a zombie movie.
Which one?
I don't know. Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead is awesome.
I can't think of really one I really enjoyed the most.
One what? Sorry, I had to mute for a second.
A zombie movie.
Zombie Land.
Okay. That's,
Return of the Living Dead. That was one of my favorite zombie movies.
Train to Busan is probably the best zombie movie I've ever seen.
What is?
Train to Busan. It's a Korean zombie.
Yeah. I did tag that. They're gonna make an English version or something.
They're making an American version. But what trains do we have? Is it going to be from Brooklyn to the Upper East Side? I don't know.
My favorite zombie movie is Return of the Living Dead. It came out in I believe it came out in 1985. And it's about two bumbling employees at a medical supply warehouse accidentally release a deadly gas into the air. The vapors cause the dead to rise again as zombies. And that's because this girl got up on this table and she took off all her clothes and had full frontal nudity. And I was like 13 at the time. So it was like the greatest thing I'd ever seen in my life up to that point.
We need to watch the Riff Tracks version of Night of the Living Dead.
Okay.
That'd be fun.
We can do that.
Mike, you coming out drinking with us on Friday night?
Oh, I'll try. I have to be up at 3 a.m. Saturday, though.
Just stay up all night.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking just go home after my workout and then just sleep, or try to at least sleep as much as I can, and then just go to work fucking drunk or tipsy.
Sure.
You're going to hate it that day, but...
I know, yeah.
Yeah, but sometimes it's worth it. You guys are young.
I'll tempt it. Ain't nothing a bang can't fix.
That's right. Or 2 or 3.
Okay, before we get to the big topic we wanted to talk about, other than, the family video stuff that came out. I don't remember how we got on that topic, but whatever. Like family video on Blockbuster. Borderlands released some cast members. Kate Blanchett as Lilith, Jamie Lee Curtis as Tannis, Jack Black as Claptrap, which I love, and Kevin Hart as Roland, as I love. Those two are perfect castings.
I wish I played the game.
I never played the game either.
Yeah.
The game is hilarious. I don't know how to put it, but it's just hilarious. It's a hilarious game. And I hope there's a bit where they were trying to name an animal that they just discovered. Claptrap is. And he's every time he sees the animal, he changes the name of it. I forget how it goes. You have to look it up on YouTube. But I died laughing in the video game.
So Claptrap's a robot?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to look these up on the interweb, see what they look like.
I can't wait to see who they get as Scooter. Scooter is the most hilarious character in that movie, or in that game. Get you some. Just the most southern guy you can think of is a mechanic.
Of course.
That's every guy in the South. Have you been to the South? I just
Yeah.
came from the South. Everybody looks like a mechanic and talks the same. Which, I mean, is awesome. I wish I had that accent. When I'm around my friend Kim, she's from South Carolina, she got this thick Southern accent, and I start talking Southern. I can't help it. But that has nothing to do with the game. So
I can't. Oh, here we go. Here's some.
Catch a ride.
So
It did.
is the game? I mean, is the game fun? I don't even know if it's. Don't they have a sequel to it? Isn't there another one?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna rank the games right now for you. Borderlands.
It is Game of the Year.
Yeah, Borderlands 1 is probably the best one. It's perfect in almost every way. It's showing its age right now, but I don't think any of us here really care about graphics that much.
I'm playing a game from 2006.
I know.
So
That's why I said that.
Borderlands came out in 2009, by the way.
Borderlands 2 is okay. The problem with Borderlands 2 is you have to buy the DLC. Get all the DLC versions to make it good. The base story was kind of a letdown. Tales of Borderlands, which is the Telltale game, was okay. The story was really good, but Telltale games gameplay sucked. Borderlands, the prequel sucked. Don't worry about that one. Unless you want to care about the story, which the story doesn't really matter in Borderlands. And then Borderlands 3.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna say Borderlands 3 was a 7 on my scale. It was fun, but they just recycled a lot of the same stuff. The whole big thing was that you're gonna be traveling to different planets and doing different stuff. But instead of one massive map, they cut down the size of maps. And there's hey, you're going to another planet, so we're gonna, boop, you're there now, instead of, hey, that's just one massive map. I don't know if that makes sense, but it made sense when I said it.
Sure, I'll take it.
I agree.
Ever since Borderlands 1, the main villain has always been a bit of a letdown. Like Marvel movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
who's
Marvel
the worst?
movies.
Who's the worst Marvel movie villain in your eyes?
Worse as in most evil, or worse as in worst written?
Yeah, written, portrayed.
Most recent Marvel movie?
Ultron. Ultron was such a
Ultron.
letdown.
Yeah, I knew you did. Yeah.
Captain. What is it? Fantastic. What's her name?
Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel.
She's not a villain.
No, she's not a villain, but that wasn't a
That's
very
who
good
I
movie. I thought we were listing bad movies.
I'm saying who was the worst villain portrayed. Written.
Ultron, or I don't want to say Warmonger, but I really didn't like Warmonger in Black Panther.
I didn't mind that one.
Sandman
I liked that one.
and Spider-Man 3.
But I'm a big fan of Michael B. Jordan, so I like it.
Sandman. Dr. Octopus.
That sucked.
Dr. Octopus and Spider-Man 2.
Okay, you take that back.
No.
Awesome.
I love Alfred Molina, but that was just a weak movie, and he just kind of died kind of cheesy, and that aggravates me.
Might be in the next Spider-Man movie.
Who? Doc Ock?
Yeah. Because they're bringing in
Alfred Molina?
Yeah, they're actually going to bring him back. Because it's going to be a multiverse thing.
Oh.
Because this Spider-Man movie's taking place after the next Doctor Strange one, which deals with the multiverse. And so apparently it's going to be all three Spider-Mans are fighting together, and some of the villains are going to cross over.
What? Oh, wait, no, the one with Electro or whatever his name was, the Jamie Foxx character.
He wants to play that character again.
That wasn't even good.
You know who I didn't like? I didn't like Whiplash in Iron Man 2.
I forgot about that movie.
It's forgettable. I don't like it.
All the Iron Man movies are kind of forgettable. I'm gonna be honest with you. The Iron Man movies are forgettable. All they're good at was setting up the rest of the Marvel universe.
That was I liked the first one because it showed his origin and whatnot. But
True.
other than that,
Speaking of origin, this is a dumb, what's what I'm looking for? I'm switching topics.
Segue.
Segue. This is a horrible segue, but origins. We have a lot of
It's
crossover.
origin.
Shut up. We have a lot of crossover fans, and I know I've been wanting to talk about this about the other podcasts. We've been kind of silent about it. Me and Chris. I know we have a lot of crossover fans. A lot of people. Some people know what happened. Some people don't. But I've been wanting to talk about it. I know Chris has been wanting to talk about it. We're going to try not to cause drama. It might still cause drama, knowing people. But we're going to do this in the best way possible, right, Chris?
Yes, the nicest way possible.
Do you want to start, or?
I can. Of course, a lot of people
let's
know
explain before you start. I just want to know, like, can you explain?
What?
Hello?
We were like, this was a different podcast, or like, I don't. Maybe just go ahead. I was getting.
It was
to
a
the point and
completely
I
different.
lost
It was a completely different. It was a different, completely different podcast. Chris and Chris belong to a completely different podcast. Some of you guys, people, fans, hopefully, have followed us over. It was called Four Nerds and a Podcast, and we did it for how long? About 6 months.
Yeah. It ended March.
March, so 5 months. We did it 5 months. We were really gaining traction on it. We were gaining some followers. Till
strictly on YouTube though.
It was strictly on YouTube. It was on no other platform, and there was some friction. Chris wanted T-shirts. Chris with a K. I wanted to expand out onto other podcast platforms like we do. It's like Spotify and iTunes. And we were met with
podcasts on YouTube.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we
were
met with some resistance from the other two nerds
co-hosts.
They didn't want to put any money in the podcast whatsoever.
More than we had already put, which was buying the editing software.
Yeah, we bought the editing software, right? Plus, however many pizzas we ate before we, when we were trying to figure out what we were going to talk about, and we talked about various things. We talked about we mainly talked about movies,
movies and TV shows. We talked about
movies and TV shows, and we were trying to expand that a little. Chris wanted to talk about video games, which I'm all open to talk about whatever we want, which is what we do here on this podcast.
We would talk a little bit about video games, but for the most part, we didn't have the freedom like we do here.
Right.
Like we couldn't do a whole podcast about video games if we wanted to. Because I'm really the only one in that group that played video games religiously.
But I like learning about,
Yeah. But
so we met some resistance with that, and then when we talked about in March, I'm like, if we put some money in, and it wasn't an exorbitant amount of money to get on to every platform we could think of. We really wanted to build an audience.
From each of us.
I was told I'm not putting money into this podcast. We need to build an audience first before we expand, which is completely opposite from everything I learned in college about marketing. So we brought up like our favorite movies. We tried to list our we tried to do different topics and not just do movie reviews.
But apparently that's not what they wanted to do. They wanted to do just the news at some point.
They just wanted to do news and movie reviews. That's what we were told. And then when COVID hit, we didn't have a podcast. We were done because nobody. And the question out there was, well, what do you want to talk about? Well, Tom Hanks, as everybody knows, Tom Hanks was one of the first major celebrity type people to come down with COVID, which would have been an easy topic. Let's cover Tom Hanks movies. Gives us something to talk about, right? That's a great segue.
Sure.
we were like, we could do it on Zoom, we could do it on Skype. You know, I put out options. We could easily record it, but they didn't.
It got shot down, and nobody. You know, we were told nobody wants to listen to that. We don't want it. We don't need to do that. I have pressure from work, which everybody had pressure from work with COVID. As I drive a bus for the city, taking people to and from doctors' offices and all around town. I was exposed just as much, if not more, than anybody. And I had an issue on my bus. This lady got on my bus, was taking her to the store, and she says, "I need you to call me an ambulance." And this was before anything knew about anybody knew anything about the sickness. So I called an ambulance, and the ambulance driver and both of them come out in hazmat suits.
Golly.
So you want to talk about getting the crap scared out of you?
Yeah.
I mean, psychologically, it scared the crap out of me because we didn't, it was very early on. This was in March, April of last year, and I about crap my pants. I mean, how serious is this? And like the EMTs were like, we don't know how bad it is. It changes daily. But luckily, she didn't come back with anything. But, we all face that pressure of everything, between work, sickness, being locked down, and people like me and Chris. We go through life based off of distractions. Am I right in that analogy, Chris? Which is going to the movies, watching sports, playing video games, things of that nature. Well, couldn't go to the movies anymore. Couldn't see any new movies. Couldn't go anywhere. All sports stopped, and anxiety sets in. Really, I mean, almost like a depression, anxiety starts setting in because you don't have those distractions from everyday life.
It was very noticeable with me.
Yes.
I got really dark. I'm just gonna put it there. I got really dark.
And not the tan dark.
No,
not the tan. No.
I got very pale, actually. I
think everybody did.
But I started, riding my bike around, so that got me out. But we had a group chat, just the four of us, and someone posted a joke, a meme, and then I responded with a joke that I would tell anyone else, any other of the guys, and apparently someone took offense to it.
Major offense to it.
And to my knowledge, that's what it was about, right?
That's how it started. Yeah, that's how there was already some tension before COVID hit. We're not gonna lie, there was some tension amongst the hosts of the podcast. Am I right in saying that?
There was some tension, but it was nothing that friends don't deal with anyways.
And it was I almost felt like they were losing interest in the podcast.
And if they were, they could have just told us.
Exactly. And the sad part is, so the meme started it, and we got caught up in it, and now we don't talk to them anymore, which sucks. They don't want to talk to us. Let's put it that way.
Mm-hmm. I would gladly sit down and talk with either of them right now.
I am a firm believer in do not carry hatred, do not carry animosity. It's too much baggage to carry around. Now I can cut people off because I think it's better for my, for health reasons and things like that, and not talk to. But I can do that and not be angry with them. And if I see them, I would treat them like I've always treated people. I don't treat people differently because it's just not the way I'm built.
I don't think the person gym and completely try to avoid him the best I can.
So that's the story that happened. It started with no money, nobody wanted to invest any money. Because March, we were talking Comic-Con. Comic-Con was in April. So we wanted to do T-shirts.
We were just going to get 4 T-shirts for the 4 of us.
Right.
Promote us. But and I was saying $25 from each of us. I can get us 4 T-shirts. Boom, right there. And we could walk around Indiana Comic Con and have some fun, with our T-shirts on.
That was the goal. But so there's been friendship lost, which is kind of silly. It's not kind of, it is silly. Friendships lost. Nobody talks to each other anymore. Sides were taken, which is silly to a point. And
you got thrown my side out of nowhere.
I did. I got blindsided and thrown to your side, which is, is what it is. And me and Chris, we wanted to continue a podcast, so
like the middle of
we are.
Next to you, like, hey, do you want to start up another podcast? Because I was bored and I wanted to keep talking because there's plenty we could talk about.
Yeah, we still find stuff to talk about, and we've expanded it to
sports, racing,
even some music. We talk about music. That's not much, but we've expanded to video games. We talk a lot about streaming services. We're not afraid to bring up a topic. We talked about the Star Wars Holiday Special, which is something we wanted to do in the last podcast.
I remember when we watched The Room, they were kind of mad that, you made us waste an hour and a half of our time. And I was like, but that was some fun.
And there were certain people that would get offended if you didn't like their movies that they liked, which I found very odd because you didn't make the movie. It's not your baby.
Of you for liking The Godfather, but we couldn't make fun of their stuff.
Right. Yeah. You guys constantly made fun of The Godfather, which I think is the greatest movie ever made. And I still believe that. And you guys don't like it, fine. You're just misled. That's not my problem. You guys are just wrong and misled. That's all.
And if you have someone on the podcast that disagrees with other people, then you create a better conversation, a better a debate, and get.
Well, and that was the thing, and that worked with the whole Star Wars Star Trek debate. You're right.
Yeah.
Honestly, I thought that's one of our better episodes was the Star Wars Star Trek debate.
Right. I like the debate of I don't like your movie, and here's why. And
Change my mind.
Change my mind. It causes, we had a big debate over whether Randy Moss deserved to be in the Hall of Fame. So, which no, he doesn't.
There was also
you got the final word. You got the final word. You win.
I kind of forgot, Chris, but there's also an underlying power struggle that I didn't really realize.
Yeah,
there's the 4 of us, but someone thought you were trying to take control, then they were trying to take control.
I never wanted control.
Yeah, but they thought you were. Like, they legitimately thought you were trying to run it. When all you would do is come there, eat pizza, sit there, and talk.
Well, nobody had, I'm sorry, but when, I have, they're like, okay, what are we going to talk about? Chris, what's the list of topics?
Yeah, when you have the list.
I have the list of topics.
We still use.
Which we use occasionally, yeah. But that's the history. I'm not going to talk bad about them. I refuse to do that. I'm just upset. Not upset. I'm just disappointed. I miss them. I'm not going to lie. They were a lot of fun. They were a lot of fun to hang out with. But they've chosen to not have us in their lives anymore. I can respect that. I don't have to like it, but I can respect it. I have ex-wives that way too. That's not a bad thing.
It hurt me a little bit more, especially because one of them would have been my best man if I ever get married.
Right. Well, you've known them since what?
Well,
grade?
No, I met Baron through Derek.
Right.
Well, there's a name drop. That's my bad.
Yeah, I was about to say.
We were doing pretty good without dropping names, but I'm sorry.
We weren't trying to drop Baron and Derek's name. But...
Oh well. People who know. So.
Right. Beep. But didn't you know Derek since first
grade?
And they're not talking.
He's been one of my best friends since
basically Derek and Baron aren't talking to Chris and I anymore. That's what
if I ever receive a text from them, I will not not talk to them. I will,
If I got a text at 2:00 in the morning and said, "I need help. Can you come help me?"
Can you
I'd be out
bail
the
me
door
out of
within
jail?
5 minutes. Yeah, exactly. I would do it. I definitely would. I'd be there as soon as I could.
give me 5. I'll be right there.
Right. So.
Oh, I'm sorry. Kick the table, Gustavo.
This is Gustavo.
So we've.
Ish.
So we've. Four Nerds and a Podcast is no more. The Facebook page has been deleted. The YouTube channel's been deleted. We've lost all of our recordings, which I wish we could get them back. I really do, because those were some good podcasts.
But if I wish them the best.
I do. I wish them the best. Nothing but the best. I hope they find happiness in whatever they go after.
If they create their own podcast or video stuff, I will start watching it.
Yeah, good for them. I know.
I would support them.
Oh, sure. So would I. But
maybe with a downvote every once in a while.
I don't see that happening, but
no, they didn't seem to want to do it anymore. But that's okay.
That's why I said there was some loss of interest on their side. It seemed like. Yeah. The lack of
interest in this podcast every once in a while, but that's just human nature. You just don't want to do it sometimes.
No, I agree. We probably could have done one last week, but it was a little.
It would have taken a little more effort, and we just didn't want to put in the effort, and that's okay. We just took a day off.
That's right, and there's nothing wrong with that. So, and we're sorry that y'all, I know, expected a podcast. We didn't give you one.
The 20 of you that listen.
Yes, thank you for all of you, even the thumbs down people that listen and give us a thumbs down. We love you too.
Kimberly said it's her is giving us thumbs down.
So, on that note, I mean, that's where we're at this point. So, but we hope everybody enjoys this podcast and like our content, and we're striving to do better every episode and providing you good content to help you pass the time for an hour or so a week. And like Forrest Gump has to say, that's all I've got to say about that.
Do you have any shower thoughts, Mikey?
I just started looking at some. Okay, well, here's a quick one. I don't like him, but I kind of like him. It's I don't know if I'd consider it like a shower thought, but it's like an interesting a fact, I guess. But I guess it's like if I touch my phone in the right places, a pizza will show up at my front door. just something like that. I don't know.
Do we want to see some of the jokes we said in the pre-show?
No, they're racist and bad. No, they're not racist. I'm kidding. They're not racist.
The Mario one wasn't racist.
No, the Mario one was not racist.
Yeah, nerd joke of the pod.
Say it, Mikey. You're really good at it.
Oh, what, the Mario one?
Yeah.
I wasn't the one who made it, who told it first. I like it.
Hold on. Say the joke, Kimberly. No. Please. She doesn't want to.
She's microphone shy. She's afraid the 20 people that listen to this episode is going to hear her. And she's one of them.
What are Mario's pants made out of?
I don't know what. Oh, I ruined it. Sorry.
It's okay, Mikey.
I don't know, Chris. Man. What are Mario's pants made out of?
Denim.
Yeah.
If you want to connect with us, Twitter @PodNerds, Facebook, Hoosier Nerds Podcast. You listen on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, TuneIn. If you have any ideas, let us know. Put it on somewhere else. You want to put it on Al Jazeera? We'll look into putting it on Al Jazeera.
That's right. Put it everywhere you want it. We don't care. We'll stick it anywhere.
All to the moon.
And I don't even mean that sexually. So
And remember, boys, Dogecoin to the moon.
Dogecoin to
Dogecoin.
Is this still rising? Is it really still rising?
I don't know. I stopped paying attention.
I haven't seen anything like in a week about it. So
yeah, GameStop stock stopped being a meme. AMC stopped being a meme. So I don't know. Yeah. Do you want to? All right, Chris. I got to admit, you're other than Tim, you're the best at getting us out of this.
All right. Well, if you're looking to find out what happened to Four Nerds in a Podcast that morphed into Hoosier Nerds Podcast, this is the episode for you. And we bring you many more news, stories, cheesy jokes, and movie reviews. And when you're looking for stuff like that, you'll never have to wonder, who's your nerds?